Welcome in our very first Q&A video. We wanted to do this many times, but we didn't have time to sit peacefully and just record it. But since we moved into the renovated house, we can finally do this. Maciek is applying micro cement to the door right now, so you have to forgive him his absence. So here I have your questions, so let's start. The first question is, where are you from? So we're Polish. We live in Krakow, so in the city, but we were both raised on a village, and we're both in our 30s. There is me, Maciek, and our dog Ari, which is here. You can see his head. Ari, chodź do mnie. No chodź. No. Tu. Super. Hop. Hop. Super. Why did you choose Italy and the region you have settled in? So I never thought we would live abroad. Okay, maybe once I thought I will live outside of Poland, but somewhere in Sweden or Switzerland, because I saw myself in a big city working in an international company. And fun fact, I work in an international company, financial company in Poland, and they had offices in such cities, so I was close. But long story short, one day, about 2 years ago, Maciek came to me and said, where we want to live in the future. And we had a talk, and we started to looking at property around the city, on the suburbs. But there was nothing interesting, to be honest. And a couple days after that, Maciek came from work, and he said, I found something. And he showed me a couple properties in Croatia and in Italy. Why? Because we can have better property, bigger, in a country where the weather is beautiful all year, and additionally, we can rent a part of the property for our guests and have money which allow us to live peacefully in the future. Why we choose between Italy and Croatia? Because we liked Italy more. We like the food, the people, everything here is beautiful. And fun fact, our first vacation together were here in Italy, so we have good memories from here. So, as they said, 2 birds with 1 stone. I must add that when we finally decided that we buy property abroad, it was very important to us to buy property in a country we can reach by the car. Currently, from Poland to here, we have approximately 13 hours of travel. How is it being funded, and are you also working at other jobs? So we have a small local family company in Poland and an online store. I work from home from Monday to Friday. I take care of the current matters in the company during the day, and at the same time Maciek takes care of the renovation. When the renovation started, we divided our responsibilities like that. As you probably know, I'm also responsible for recording, editing, and all social media for Borgo Barotti. A lot of people ask, did we take subsidies? We wanted, but during the pandemic and later events, Italy turned off the large subsidies. We were half a year late. I have to mention that these subsidies would only cover the part of the renovation of the main house, so it's not enough for the whole property, but of course it would be helpful. What is the ultimate aim of the property? A small hotel? From the beginning, we knew that we want to rent part of the property. In the future, we would like to serve food too, but I'm not sure we can manage that. We will try. This is our plan. Love the progress. What are your plans for all the buildings? Okay, so let's see. Let's do it in the order in which we'll renovate the buildings. At first, even before the official purchase, our plan was supposed to look a bit different because we wanted to start by renovating the main house due to the possibility of subsidy that would cover most of the renovation costs. However, when it turned out that we wouldn't have time to apply for a large subsidy, Italy blocked this possibility, we had to change the plan. We decided that it would be the best to start in the following order. A small house. Initially, it was a building not adapted for living. The area is about 100 square meters. We could demolish the building and rebuild it to adapt it to live in it. Until we renovate the main house, we will live in it, but ultimately, it is intended for a rent as a separate building. It has 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, living room and a terrace. Building number 2. We can reveal that we'll start its renovation in about a month. This is the second building based on its area, because it has about 200 square meters. In this building, we'll do a private garage, but for guests, we will leave a kitchen, living room, several bathrooms and 3 bedrooms, as well as a terrace. We would like to start renting it in 2026. Although a lot depends on the progress of the work, not only of the house, but also in the garden. The main house. This is the main building on the property, and the only building officially treated as a residential building. This is where strict rules apply during renovation. The building will probably have to be renovated stone by stone, also reinforced with a completely different method for earthquakes than before. The work will take a lot of time. This building has about 400 square meters spread over 3 floors and will ultimately be our private home. If we manage to fulfill this plan, we will be able to close this part of the property. This area will be ready to use because the work will move to the further areas, for example, to the building number 4, temporarily called by us the lobby. Our dream is to create a common area in this building. Maybe a place to have a breakfast with guests, a lobby, reception, a place to relax. This building is about 250 square meters, but counting together with the technical building that has been recently renovated. The last building to be renovated is the largest. It has almost 600 square meters. Here we plan to do several rooms for rent, which will have their own mini private gardens straight from the bedrooms. This building will definitely change its appearance because currently there is one large barn where cows were once bred. Can you officially make some interior works on your own, or you have to hire a local crew? So yes, you can do it on your own. For mostly interior works, you don't need special licenses, with a couple of exceptions, I believe. If we talk about us, we did most of our interior works on our own. If I remember well, we had only help from the electrician and the plumber. Here I would also point out that we are not expert on this field, but we have many family members who are specialists in various renovation fields, so we use their knowledge or the internet. The next question is, did you have a trusted real estate agency or you found property on your own? We found our property on the internet. Back then we didn't know if this real estate agency is real and well trusted, but what we could do? We checked the company details. We took advantage of the opportunity to connect with the agent on FaceTime and saw the property online live, and I believe a month later we visit the property to see it in person. This day we also met the owner. Also during signing the contract, we asked Italian lawyers to check if everything is okay. But you have to be patient in that case because we were waiting to check the whole contract around 5 months. That's why we were too late to get subsidies. Are you planning to run bed and breakfast, agrotourism after renovation? So once again, yes, it's gonna be something like bed and breakfast. You have to be aware that if you want to run agroturismo, you have to know one thing. There are special rules to run agroturismo, and there is one of it. It requires our agroturismo to use 80% of ingredients purchased from agricultural companies in our own region. So it would be nice, but I don't know if we can manage this. How many people will be living on this property? Usually there is only me, Maciek and our dog. But very often our family come to us to help with the renovation. I know that when we finish the renovation, give us a couple of years, family will be visited us to have a nice vacay. Because who doesn't want vacation in Italy? How did you find such great artisans to do the stonework? It was a coincidence. The first renovation team was suggested to us when we bought the property. They did a temporary roof repair, but we weren't too happy with that work. And later we asked our architect if he had some local company to help us with renovation, and that was our current construction team. And that's how we got probably the best renovation team in the whole area. Do you speak Italian? That's a good question. I was learning Italian in high school, but I know only the basics. I was also learning on my own, but recently I started working with the teacher online. When we bought a property, Maciek also started learning Italian from time to time because the renovation is a full-time job. So usually we use a little bit of Italian, a little bit of English, and a little bit of gestures. Fortunately, Italians are open-minded and very helpful, so you shouldn't have a big problem. And luckily, most of the documents related to the whole construction are handled by our architect. We didn't ask about that, it is how it is, good for us. How many dump trucks of material have you used so far? That's impressive. And we stopped counting after 10. I remember when we started to rebuild the first building, and the concrete trucks were changing all the time because so much concrete was needed for the foundations. I know that it wasn't that much because there was 3 or 4 of them. And we were very excited that it was all happening so quickly on such a large scale. But now I know that it wasn't a large scale. I hope you will continue to add elements from the original buildings in your home. It's nice to add a few old items into the new modern design. It wasn't a question for the Q&A, but this part is interesting to explain. The property we bought was a ruin. We did it consciously because we wanted to do everything from scratch. The only disadvantage is that there was no old furniture in the house that we could restore and use in the house again. For now, we can only use the old stone, old tiles from the demolished house, but this is also a big pros, and we are happy for that, because this is a very expensive material and very desirable. And the last question is, why did you choose a concrete when constructing the technical building? I think I mentioned that in one of the episodes, but the main decision was made because it's just faster. But to explain, 2 walls had to be made of concrete because they also keep the slope. So after thinking about it, we pour all 4 walls from a concrete. It took 2 days to make a formwork and 2 days to pour the concrete. And the building were almost ready. I have to mention that it doesn't matter if the building is made of concrete or a different material. It needs to be reinforced because of the earthquakes. I hope that this video has shed some light on what we do and who we are. Thank you for all the questions, and if you have more, you can leave them under this video. See you soon in a regular episode.